Hello everyone, Sheila back again. Welcome to my channel. I have just come back from a walk over to the post office. I had one or two patterns to post and I had 4 patterns to post actually. It was a lovely day, a lovely warm breeze, and when I was coming back there was 2 little girls sitting on the there's like a grassy area part of where I come past, and there were 2 little girls sitting there and they were like intently looking at something in their hands like that. So I stopped and I said, "Oh, what are you doing?" And one little girl, she said her name was Rachel, and the other little girl's name was Abby, because I asked them what their names were. And Rachel said that she was sharing her sweets, because when I walked past I could say she was going, "One for you, one for me, one for you and one for me." And that's what I asked them what they were doing. She said she was sharing her sweeties out with her friend Abby, because she says when Abby gets sweeties she always shares them with me. So I says, "Well, that's the best way to be." I says, "You always share and share like that." And I says, "You'll always be friends all your life." So I thought that was nice, seeing kids, like that, sharing their sweets like that. And as I give sweets to my great grandsons, and I'll get one off Frankie. Will give me one if I ask, and Tommy will give me one. But Eddie, trying to get one off Eddie, it's like trying to get blood out of a stone. Even though I've just given him one, you've got to threaten him. But anyway, I came back home and I'm picking up my knitting because I'm on to one of the fronts now on the green one. I finished the back. I'll show you. It looks like it wouldn't fit anybody. It's there, but it does. It's with all the cables and it's like rib. It does stretch, so it'll stretch across. And it's only for up to a 36 anyway, because mine's going over to about a 42. So it is stretched a bit more, but that's it. And it is quite long, because I had to knit until it was 69 centimetres, which was 27 inches. So that's what I did. I've been doing this morning because I wanted to get a bit more of this done. And at least I'm doing a smaller piece now. I don't have to worry about it going onto my arms when I'm knitting there. But I spent a bit more time doing this. This is the only thing I've been knitting this morning. I'll pick up my other things, maybe just do a little bit, an hour each, on the 2 other cardigans, the white rosebud cardigan and the pink one. But I'm going to put this down for a minute and take my gloves off. I'm starting to get used to knitting with these. I don't knit quite as fast with these on, but I am getting used to knitting with them, because it's funny. I'll put that down and pick it up afterwards. My gloves off for a while. At least my hands don't sweat so much, even in the warm weather. They don't sweat so much with the cotton gloves on as I thought they would. But I'm going to show you what I've been doing, what I wished I hadn't. Remember I showed you this wool winder the other day? Well, I messed about with the gauge on it here, and I thought it was coming too far off the end, when you're winding it. I don't know if I can show you there. It was coming too far along the end, so the wool was coming off the end of the winder when you were doing it. And I'm not bothered about it. I would have just given it away to anyone that wanted it. So I tried bending the wool, the guide thing. I've bent that, as you can see, it doesn't come quite as far to the end. Before, it came right past the end, and that's how the wool was coming off the end. So I thought, I've never really wound a full ball on it, a 100-gram ball. I've just wound little bits on it. I never liked the way it was winding. But anyway, I'm going to show you what it looked like after I wound it. That was a full ball I managed to wind. Well, it did do the job, but it was very untidy. And I didn't really like what it looked like, so I thought, I says myself, I'll just pull it from the centre and start winding it on my other winder, you know, which was what I started doing. I got that far, pulling from the centre, and then this happened. It's completely stuck. It will not come out. And I've lost the end off the other end. I'm going to have to sit and unravel. I've made a lot of work for myself, because that's the only other ball I've got for to finish this cardigan off. I only have the 2 balls, one's doing this one. So I'm going to have to find out how that's stuck in there somehow, and try to find the other end here to start winding it up. You know, I should leave well enough alone, you know. No, that thing is going in the bin. It is useless. You couldn't use it for like what I was trying to do from a centre pull, because that happened. That wasn't the first time it happened. I got so far on. I only got a little bit wound on and it got stuck. So I had to pull it, and I managed to get it out, and it stuck again, and I pulled it a bit more, and that's what happened. And I can't even find the... And if I keep on pulling hard, and that is going to stretch the wool and make it sort of thin like. So I'm going to have to sit and try and find the other end on this and start seeing if I can unravelling it from the other end. Hey Sheila, why don't you leave things alone, man? And this pattern here, this is the pattern I'm using for the green one that I'm doing. Now I'm looking at this pattern. I mean, I don't want to pick that up again. I've took my gloves off. But my knitting is quite neat looking, but this one is absolutely perfect. When you look at the stitches, you probably can't see that well on here, but the stitches are actually perfect. I'm saying nobody knits that perfect, hand knitting. And I had a really close look. I can see the bottom here where they've cast on the rib. This has been knitted on a knitting machine. This cardigan has not been knitted by hand. Because when I look at the edge, that, I don't know whether you can see it at all, but the edge of that is how it looks when you knit the rib on a knitting machine, because I used to have a ribber attached to my knitting machine, and that's the way it looked exactly, and that's how that is. So it looks so perfect. Well, that really annoyed me, because that hasn't been hand knitted. The same with the neck band and the bands down the front. You see, they're too perfect for to be hand knitted. So anyway, that was another bit of annoyance I looked at. And my pattern, where have I put it? Oh, it's over there. I think I'm going to start putting it on eBay and Etsy, because I've had, one or two. There was actually only one fault that was actually found, and that was on my, where I put knit one, slip one, where it should be knit one, slip one, knit one, pass the slip stitch over. I had just knit one, slip one, pass the slip stitch over. I'd missed that knit one out after the slip one. That was actually the only fault, apart from the spelling of which I have alternately, but I've changed it to alternatively, because everybody else is agreeing with whoever told me was Jacqueline. I think that it was spelt wrong in that. And I have altered one or two of the things that Jacqueline said, and one or two other things that other people. But there was a lady, Tracy, I think, she mentioned about she had started the back, and for row 1 I have, depending on which size you're doing, it's purl 1, purl 2, purl 3, purl 2 or purl 3, and then I have in brackets to knit 1, purl 3. and you repeat the stitches in brackets till you get to the last same number of stitches that you started with, though you purled at the start. So I have you repeat stitches in brackets to the last either 1, 2, 3, 2 or 3 stitches, and then purl those stitches the same as what you did at the start. But she thought I should have it with, to finish with what is in brackets, have knit one and then the purl the other stitches. But that is an awful lot of work, because that is on every part of the pattern. I am not going to change all that, because I think that's simple enough for anyone to understand. All I have to do is, whatever size they're doing, is knit to the last number of stitches that I've got on here and purl those stitches. So it's, to me, it's very easy to understand, and that's what I do on most of my patterns, and nobody's ever complained about it before. So I think it's okay the way it is, Tracy. I'm not going to change that. So I think the pattern's ready to go out now, because I think if anybody found any more mistakes, there's quite a lot of people are knitting it, so they're going to let me know. So I'll probably finish what I was doing with the PDF and change what I have to change on here, what I have to change on the actual instructions and that, and get the proper pattern made up. That's what I'm going to do with that. And just for everyone, take that out of there. My 3 bowls, I'm calling these the 3 bowls, like the 3 bears. That's Daddy bowl, Mammy bowl, and Baby bowl. That's what I'm using at the moment for this one. Whoops, the needles fell on the floor. That's what I've got down to for that one. I could do an actually smaller one, actually, if I wanted a really small one in as well. So these are the 3 bowls, equivalent to the 3 bears, Daddy, Mammy and Baby. And I really like them because they stand up for themselves. That's what I wanted as well, for it to stand up for themselves. Because this one, other one of mine, this one was the very first one I ever made when everybody started asking me for the things. I'd never made one before. I just made it out of curiosity to see what it would look like. But it doesn't sort of stand up very well, because I think I used 3 strands of double knitting. Yes, I used 3 strands. I'm counting up the ones on here. 1, 2, 3. Yes, there's about 3 strands of double knitting. I think I could have done with some chunky in as well, would have made it stiffer and stand up. So I might actually pull that one out and do it up again, but add some more wool to it, because that one comes in handy if I want to put a few. I can even get 3. I can get 3 bowls inside, 3 bowls, cakes inside there if I have to. So that one's going to be retired for a little bit, because I have the 3 other ones here. It's a set of 3 bowls there. And I had my last one here. I didn't have quite enough of this, what I used down here, so I had to add a little bits of blue and other colours. I think it was a bit charcoal, and the really dark bit here was a bit charcoal, and some bits of blues and odd bits of blues and grey to finish it off. I just didn't have quite enough. So that was all of that bluey green stuff gone now anyway. That down there. And the next one, when I finish that little bit in there, I'll be on to the Daddy bowl, because that'll be for that one there. There's quite a big one. I think it's about 200 grams in that one. That's how much I can wind up on my wool winder if necessary. I just pull the guide thing out a little bit further. You know, you pull it out as far as you can anyway, but you just pull it out a little bit further and hold it out while you're winding it, and it stops it from hitting the side, so you can get a bigger cone, a bigger cake if you have to. So I'll put that back in my bag there. And so now I am going to finish a little bit, do a little bit more of this one before my tea, because it's 4 o'clock now. So I'm going to do a little bit more of that before my tea, and then I'm going to do a little bit of the pink one and the white one. And then I might spend a little bit more time on my own, because I haven't done any of this one for a little while. Because I've had, a lot of other things. I do have some orders for some more pouches, phone pouches and that. But I'm going to give the crochet a rest for a couple of days and that, and I want to do a little bit of my own cardigan as well, and hopefully get it finished before the summer ends. What we had this summer, the summer's not worth worrying about anyway at the moment, We're getting a little bit nicer, warmer weather at the moment, but like I'm saying, I've been neglecting this one again for my own, for all other things. So I'll put that back in there. So, put my gloves back on and get on with the green one. I'll be doing my tea in about an hour's time, so I'll have another hour on that one and get a bit of the front done. And it's great once I got that back finished, because I seem to be going on forever and ever trying to get up to 69 centimetres on the... I just couldn't. Lost my needle out on the floor. So I kept putting it down and measuring it, and it wasn't quite there. It wasn't quite there, and it was like great when I finally put it down on my carpet on the floor and measure it there, and it finally said 27 inches, which is 69 centimetres. So I finally got the back finished, and I keep meaning to put a little stitch in the thumb and turn it in, because the thumbs are too long. I keep forgetting. But anyway, that's my little bit for today, so thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you all another time. So bye for now.